Good evening, everyone. Everyone on Facebook watching us, everyone in Zoom, welcome to Talk Hard 2021. Our sidekick is back, thank God, because if you saw last week's show, it fell apart without her. So we're finally starting 2021 off right with Rachel back running the show.
I'm just
behind.
like a security blanket.
That's true. It's true. Rachel's a security blanket to make sure everything goes well. Thanks to everyone for joining us. This is our third show of 2021, but really we consider it our first show because we now have an actual functioning president and government as of yesterday. So this is actually the real first show of. It's now 2021, right? It wasn't. It was still December 40th until yesterday. So. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. For those who are new on Facebook and watching us, Talk Hard's a workshop. It's been around for about 6 years now from the Outer Loop. And it's a workshop for all artists, comedians, singers, writers, poets, dancers, actors, directors, painters, all artists of any background to come on and try some new material out or just put it out there in front of an audience. So we really appreciate everyone watching, everyone donating and supporting Talk Hard. Talk Hard was live in person for years in New York. And then when the pandemic hit last year in March, we went virtual and we've been on doing Talk Hard online for, I counted today, about 32 or 33 weeks. Throughout the pandemic last year and the first few weeks of this year. So thanks everyone for your support, because you've been keeping us going and keeping all of our artists going. So we really appreciate it. We're based tonight, as we usually are, in DeKalb, Illinois, but we're coming in, as usual, from all over the place. We're New York City tonight, Chicago, Colony, New York, Buffalo, New York, where I hear there's some kind of sports ball foot situation going really well for everyone there. So that's cool.
And some wings.
Oh, and some wings, which are from Buffalo. Don't ask. What's that?
Old enough to get away with how politically incorrect this is. Sports ball is the girliest thing you've ever said.
Is it really?
Are you playing sports ball?
I like to think it's the theateriest thing I've ever said. Right?
Sounds like how they catch a Russian spy.
Sports ball. Right, exactly. Right. Cool. Well, I do want to remind everyone that Talk Hard only exists through your support and donations. So we have a Venmo at Talk Hard right there. That's one. So you can donate throughout the show or after the show at Talk Hard on Venmo. And if you're a PayPal person, Rachel is back and able to drop the PayPal link in the comments. Also, please feel free to comment on Facebook, in Zoom, wherever you are watching. We love to hear your feedback. And if you're on Zoom, please keep your artists and audience, keep your audio on, unmuted, so we can be an audience for each other. So yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone again. It was a little rough, little bumpy start to 2021 after a really fucked up 2020. And but we're feeling, I think everyone's feeling a lot better today. Everyone got to breathe yesterday. We really watching the inauguration and watching the events last night, the celebration, I think everyone finally exhaled a little bit. And it's just really nice to connect with you all and to have you all with us as we ride out the rest of this pandemic, which hopefully, now that we have a president who can speak full sentences, won't be too much longer. Cool. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, I was supposed to say that this episode was like a special Bernie Mittens episode, but now it's not funny because I pointed out that I was supposed to say it. So anyway, cool. Let's get started because this first gentleman is way funnier than me, which actually, that's like not hard to do anyway, so that's not saying much. Right. But our first artist is a Talk Hard regular. You've seen him, you love him, we love him. He's a comedian, a podcaster. He's coming in from Astoria, which is in Queens, New York, I think. And here he is, Andrew Chavone. What's up, buddy?
Thank you, Michael.
Nice to see you.
Great to be back. All right, I'm just looking at Tim right now.
No, here you go. There you go.
Okay. Wait, is that me? All right, thanks. I don't think it's still me, by the way. I'm looking at you.
No, but it's you.
It is me, but I'm looking at you.
No, but you're good. You're good.
Well, I'm happy you're back. I'm happy Rachel's back. I love, my favorite part of the last episode is when you were like, Rachel's gone, but I think I got it under control. And you immediately turned the microphone off by accident. Remember that?
I do. It was all downhill from there.
It was great. Wow, so great to be here. So I was like thinking about times when I was in grade school, and my grade school didn't teach me anything. Did yours? I didn't learn anything practical. They all they did was once a year the teacher would stand in front of the class and say, "Hey kids, the first kid that raised $1,000 for the school will get this free hat." And every year I was like, "Wow, that's a really good deal." I've never had $1,000. I don't know what that is, but I'm familiar with hats. They feel good on my head. So one year there was like a really cool looking hat, so I went right to my mom when I came home, and I was like, "Mom, can I have $1,000?" And she was like, "For what?" And I was like, "I need a hat." The school said if I give him $1,000, they'll give me a hat. And she was like, my mom was like, "Well, I'll just buy you a hat." And I was like, wow, my mom's a genius. She an accountant, she's figuring out all these loopholes. She's wheeling and dealing. So I went to so at the end of the fundraiser, I was the only kid that didn't raise any money. And the teacher like yelled at me and was like, "Andrew, you're the only kid that didn't raise any money. What happened?" And I was like, "Well, I already have a hat." And then she said, she like got kind of mad, and she said, "Well, actually," and I was wearing it in school, and she said, "Hats aren't allowed in school, so I'm gonna have to take that from you." And I was like, "That'll be $1,000." That's all I've learned is the value of this. So I think then I got expelled. But anyways, no, I'm joking. But I went to Catholic school, and Catholic school, they don't teach you anything. They mix science and religion together at the same time. So we learned about the human eye, and the teacher said the human eye is perfect, because God made it. And I was like, "Well, why are you wearing glasses?"
Oh.
What happened there? Are you cursed?
What happened there?
Yeah, so all good. I tried to go back to church for like the first time in 10 years, and I forgot everything. There's like a part in Catholic Mass where you shake everyone's hand and you say, "Peace be with you," but I hadn't been in so long that I just said, "Hey, how are you?" So everyone there was confused. They thought I was a salesman. No, I don't want to be a part of your pyramid scheme. So I've been so because of the quarantine, I've been quarantined in my like apartment. The only time I catch up with friends is when I play video games with them online, and that like affects like our whole relationship. Because I have one friend, he's going through a really hard time, and he's like, "Dude, my girlfriend left me. I'm broke. They're gonna take away my house." And I'm like, "Cool. Can you heal me? I'm dead right now." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that." And I'm like, "Oh, it's your fault." I don't listen to anything they say. I'm like, bullets are flying at me. I can't hear about your problems. I got things of my own going on. Yeah, I wear the same headset I wear for games that I wear for like work meetings. So like I'm like, "Hey noobs." Oh wait. You're gonna get owned at this report. I miss catching up with friends in person. I realized whenever I saw my friends in person that I haven't seen in a while, like we just talk about the next time we're gonna hang out for like an hour. We sit down. We're like, so when are we gonna do this again? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, I was thinking about a trip to Vegas, and I'm like, well, that'll never happen. But let's talk about it for 2 hours. It's cool. When my friends and I were single, like you know, when we were in our 20s, we used to, every time we would hang out, we would point at like a table of girls, and my friend would say, we need to figure out if those girls over there are single. And now when we get together, my friends are like, we need to figure out a second source of income. We're all broke. Can we all? They want. I seriously, this has happened like 3 times. They want me to throw out ideas. They're like, what do you got? Any inventions? Yeah, they. I try to make money quick. I try to invest in this app called Robinhood on the phone. Like, you use stocks on your app. It's terrible. What I learned is, if I buy a stock, it will immediately go down in price. And then after it goes down, if I sell it, it will go up. And keep going up until I hate myself. I've made a lot of mistakes doing this. I learned, well, the biggest lesson I learned is don't take stock advice from strangers on the internet. Because surprisingly, a guy doesn't have a financial degree if his username is Stocklord420. I'm following him. I'm like, the Lord says. Calm down. I thought like saving was always a good idea because, like, as a kid, my mom and dad used to read me this story called The Ant and the Grasshopper. And now I realize that, like, the only lesson from that story is if you save and work hard, you get to watch one of your friends die. And that's pretty dark. That story makes me not feel bad for losing all that money. But, all right. Well, that's my time, everybody. Thank you so much.
Woo! Thanks, Andrew. Thanks so much. Do you want to what projects do you have going on, or other shows or podcasts where people can find you? I see we have a bunch of people watching on Facebook as well as here on Zoom. Where can people find you doing your thing?
Okay, so at Panic Attacking Podcast on Instagram and Panic Attacking Podcast, all platforms, iTunes and Stitcher and all that. Me and the next comedian, we host it, and we talk about what made us anxious this week, and we make fun of it, and then the therapist listens the whole time and then talks to us at the end.
That's awesome.
And then we make fun of her.
I'm sure she loves that. Sweet. Thanks, man. We love.
She's doing it. I don't. Sorry.
Must be Jungian.
Thanks so much, Andrew. We love having you every week, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So before we move on to our next artist, who is a super funny human who Andrew was just referencing, co-hosts the show they do together, I just want to, I see a bunch of people watching on Facebook, so I want to welcome everyone watching on Facebook. I saw a few people joined us on Zoom. So welcome. Talk Hard's a workshop, so all of our artists tonight are working out some new material, comedians, writers, poets, spoken word, everyone. It's just a place for artists to connect, especially during this time. So thank you everyone for supporting us. And just a reminder, if you'd like to donate at our Venmo, it's at Talk Hard, and Rachel dropped the PayPal link in the comments, so you can donate. All of our 100% of our donations go each night to our artists performing, helps them pay the rent, get some groceries during the pandemic. It's really helped a lot. So thank you so much to everybody for your support. So yes, let's keep the laughs going with our second artist, a comedian, podcaster, like I said, really funny guy, has been on Talk Hard several times. We always feel lucky when we can have him back. Coming to us from New York City, Steven Rogers. Here he comes. What's up, man?
Hey, thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me back.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is the only time I get to hang out with Andrew outside of Panic Attacking, so it's nice to do this. He won't play video games with me. It's good to be here. So I realize I miss going to museums. I miss art and stuff like that. I really like art, but I don't like giving my opinions on it ever. You know, because whenever you give your opinion on a piece of art, people ask you what your favorite works are, and the stuff I like, you can't really swirl a glass of wine when you talk about it. You know, like I can't be like, actually, I prefer the second Ace Ventura. So, it doesn't work at all. I try to sound fancy. Like, I just try to make everything I really like a lot sound fancy when I'm with these people, just so I can fit in. It doesn't work. They'll be like, "Who's your favorite artist?" I'm like, "Have you heard of Wile Coyote?" They're like, "What does he do?" I'm like, "He makes a lot of walls look like tunnels." It's pretty good. Yeah. Every girl I've dated has been an art major, and we'll go to like a gallery or something, and they have these passionate opinions that I cannot match. You know, they'll be like, "Man, I feel the pain they had when they made this," and I'm like, "Yeah, and it's blue." I'm sure that means sad or something, or that they were out of green. But, every time I'm at a gallery with my current girlfriend, I just want to have the same opinion as her so she won't leave me. That's really all it is. Like, we'll be staring at the piece of art, but really I'm just trying to catch her reflection in it so I can guess her take. I'm just like, I'm trying to move my eyes to the side of my head. Like, Picasso painted the face I want when I'm in a gallery with my girlfriend. Yeah. We moved in together, and it's going good, but I'm really bad at ordering furniture. Really bad. I look at every thumbnail online, and I'm like, well, that's gonna fit my apartment perfectly, because it fits like a glove in this rich person's house. So I'm sure it will fit my one bedroom in Brooklyn, New York. Then I end up getting a writer's desk that's the size of a church organ. I'm like, does anyone want to rent office space to the other half of this desk? It's so big. I swear to God. You ever get a desk that's the size of the credenza you also ordered, but is the size of the desk you wanted? It's really bad. Every piece of furniture that showed up to my apartment, I just react like someone that's meeting an online date for the first time. I'm like, look, you're beautiful, but you are bigger than I expected. All right. Well, thank God that worked. I'm afraid of bats, and I'm terrified of bats. And here's the thing. I go through when I tell people that is whenever I tell people I'm afraid of bats, they immediately look to the sky and try to find one. I'm like, did you not hear me, or did I find out what kind of person you are? My fear of bats is so bad that whenever I'm outside, if I know something's above me, I don't look up. I'm afraid it's a bat. It could be a fastball at a baseball game, and I'll be like, "I'll just hit me. I don't care. Don't be with that." They're terrifying. Do you know bats navigate by sound? I think that's why they're so ugly looking, because they need to have people make a noise when they see them. You know, they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Okay, somebody's over there." Yeah. There's actually a bridge in Texas that if you stand on it when the sun is going down, it's actually located next to the largest grouping of bats almost ever. And when the sun goes down, they just fly everywhere around you in a huge mass of bats. That's why I will never go bungee jumping, because I'm worried I'll accidentally pick that bridge. I'll just be going in and out of my worst nightmare. And I'll be hanging upside down. They'll be like, "Hey, he's just like us. Let's go say hello." Terrifying. Also, have you seen bats when they sleep? They sleep like this, and they wake up like this. They're flashing you. They're the world's creepiest animal. I agree. on the bridge thing. That's how you find out. By saying it. So I have a cat, which means I'm always bleeding. And, I got my cat a cat tree, which is great. Get a cat tree if you want your pet to punch you directly in the face. That's something I found out today. I love having a cat. My cat is great. Took her to the vet recently. There's nothing wrong with her. She was just pissing me off. And I like to assert my dominance. Yeah, here's the thing about our vet, though. They're a little too helpful. Whenever you're on hold, they play little ads of information on how your animal could get sick and die. And you're on hold, so you can't really give them any follow-up questions. You'll just be sitting there waiting to, save your best friend, and they'll be like, do you know if your animal gets a virus, it could, just make home inside your best friend's body and eat it from the inside out? Anyways, you're 78th in line. Oh, good. All right. Good to know. Also, every time I go to the vet, our cat is very adorable. It's a hypoallergenic cat, which, if you don't know what that is, it's $1,400. So we're going to be on the street soon, but we'll have a pretty cat next to us. Yeah, our cat is hypoallergenic. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, hairless cat. Wrong. It's a regular cat that I shave at night. So it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, we take our cat to the vet, and whenever I hand the cat over to the nurse will always make this same joke. She'll look at her and go, oh, well, maybe you'll get her back. And I get what she's saying. Oh, your animal's so cute, I might take it as my own. And that's honestly why I took her. So I'm a little scared that's what's going to happen. I'm worried that's why the vet has so many animals back there. I think they just thought all those were cute. Like, none of those are sick. Hi, guys. I'm a comedian that likes to do 3 jokes after the best one. I like to keep building track after the you guys are very wonderful. You're being great. I've been watching a lot of TV during this. I think that would count as a day job at this point. And I've been watching a lot of crime shows. I love crime shows, man. I watched Criminal Minds. That's my favorite one. And I'm getting a little too cocky now when I watch it. I can always guess who the killer is. I'm right every single time. To the point, I'm getting so arrogant. I'm like, see, I knew I should have went to justice school. I missed my calling. But I'm not, good at any criminal justice stuff. I'm just great at watching TV. That's all it is. There's no detective out there that's like, I'm pretty sure he's the killer. And they're like, how can you tell? I'm like, well, he played a killer in something else. So I'm pretty sure he'll do it again.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I get a little jealous of these daytime TV serial killers because they have no guilt. That's great. You see these guys, they killed 13 people and they're whistling. I'm like, man, I don't want to be just like you, but how much sociopath do I need to get some hours of sleep at night?
Yeah, really.
Because I'm still thinking about my first breakup, and we couldn't drive back then. So, all right. I'm going to leave pretty soon. Just warming you all up for my exit. I don't know why I said it out loud. So my girlfriend's birthday was recently, and I must have done well with the gift because she renewed me for another year. But I was getting a little nervous coming up to the birthday because her phone was getting ads for the gift I bought her.
Oh.
Yeah, I was worried she was going to buy it herself, so every night when she was sleeping, I would take her phone in the other room and I would go, potatoes, football, corkscrews. Try to buy myself some time. damn it! I forgot one. Let's do one more. I swear it's quick. I also don't like history shows. That's another thing I don't like. I hate history shows. They're super boring. They're also always shot with a gray lens. I feel like calling these people up and going, "Hey, this is already boring. You don't need this." What did this event take place before the sun was invented? I don't understand. Are you trying to let us know this is taking place in the past? The shoes with buckles gave it away. And history shows, all they're doing is just highlighting everything humans did wrong as a species. That's really all it is. It's just everything we did wrong. They're like, hey, smallpox, hey, unsinkable ship. Never mind. That's really all it is. Thank God there's no personal history channel. You know, that would be awful. You walk in and you're like, hey, what are you watching? Oh, just the year you repeated second grade. Oh, great. Who are they interviewing? Oh, your teacher, the first one. Well, that's what I wanted. Fine. Thank you, I'm done.
Woo! Thank you. Thanks so much, Steven. So good to have you. So good to have you. Can we I see we have a bunch of new people watching on Facebook and some folks that joined on Zoom too. Where can folks catch you other than here?
I'm on basically every social media is at Not Steve Rogers. And I have a great podcast called Panic Attacking.
Cool.
And the other guy on it is so funny. Really good at digital backgrounds. And yeah, it's really fun. We talk about our anxieties, and a therapist tells us we're not as crazy as we think. It's pretty great.
Cool. Thanks so much, Steven. It was really good to have you. We love having you. Oh, absolutely. Sweet. So I just want to remind everyone, I see that we have some folks that joined us watching on Zoom and some folks that joined us watching on Facebook. So welcome. This is Talk Hard. It's a workshop for artists, comedians, writers, actors, singers, dancers, poets, everyone to try out some new pieces they're working on. So just want to thank everyone for your support and for keeping Talk Hard going for so long during this pandemic. It's really gotten a lot of us through, and it just reminds me having Andrew and Steven on, who, if you're just joining us, were two comedians that we just had on. Just really all of our Talk Hard artists, but man, Steven and Andrew just keeping us laughing all through 2020, and just all of our artists keeping us like connected and breathing and feeling okay and making it through every week. We're really grateful. So thanks so much, everyone. And if you want to donate, all our donations go to our artists tonight at Talk Hard on Venmo, or at our PayPal link that gets dropped in the comments every so often on Facebook. So thanks again, everyone. We're going to keep it moving. Our next artist is a Talk Hard regular. We missed him last week because it was one of those off weeks, but he's usually with us just about every week. Coming to us from Buffalo, New York, where there's some football stuff going on that I'm sure we'll hear about, and a writer, a poet, a comedian, an all-around just super funny and awesome dude. Here he comes, Mr. Tim Joyce. Woo! Hey, Tim. Nice to see you. We missed you last week.
It's so wonderful. I'm varying from my usual format of just reading poetry lately. I'm reading a poem, and I'll end on a poem, but in between, I had a one-man show in 2019 I was lucky enough to have toured the Glasgow Comedy Festival, then it did a run in Buffalo, then it did a run in LA, and it was called Bloodstained T-Shirt, and it was based on me getting stabbed while I was jogging, and I was looking through I'll explain it when I read the piece, but 2016 was the worst year of my life. Spent a night in jail, got stabbed, was misdiagnosed with manic depression, became an alcoholic for a while, and got fired by the best theater company in Buffalo. And that was before July. So I decided, well, what better time to write a memoir? And I found a part of the memoir that became Bloodstained T-Shirt.
Wow.
And I decided to rework some of it today. and it's actually written in essay form, and that'll be in the middle, and I'll start with a poem.
Cool.
I don't think I tell people enough sad stuff about myself. I also chewed to death by rats when I was 9. This comes from the notes of a replies to somebody on Facebook who was really, really down about politics, which is weird because it's the past 4 years have just been so fucking great. This is called The New Start. Even as the holiday lights inevitably come down, the love that fills our home, this world, the universe, remains glowing ever brighter, but strangely so often unseen. The striving of humankind can never be the desire to be better than anyone we see on the street. It can never be driven by rage or indifference. It can only be the relentless pursuit of the best lit version of our soul, seeing the multiverse as one. We can see clearly what is right and be brave in doing it. May we not worry about winning, but living in courage, being kinder, creating all we can in word, art, and meaningful work. So often we are scared in a place that seems unpaved, unlit. But we are worthy of the love shine that surrounds us. It is the last quarter of my life. I've hope, and yes, I'd die for any of you, despite the fears, but the universal light is telling me the best and sweetest lesson is this. I'd much rather live with you.
Nice.
The name of my, the name of my, what do you, I keep saying memorial, but it's not that, it's a memoir. It's like a memorial, only you wrote it. 'Cause I already know what I want. I want my gravestone to be actually like, you know how the bus can change routes just by flipping over? I want my gravestone to have an epitaph that flips every 30 seconds. You know, so it's like, Tim Joyce, welcome to my grave, no dancing. Yes, I am looking up your skirt. You know, now I'm really fucking mad. You know, somewhere in heaven, a girl's ass is being grabbed. You know, just something, you know, just something that says something about who I was. I named it Dog Walker. I want to go back to it. It's about the fact that I have this beautiful dog I got 6 weeks after my one brother passed away, and his name is Hazel Motes, and he saves my life every day. He's God to me. But this is the part that became the show that toured across 3 countries. So cool. The Dog Walker ran 5 miles 3 times a week, always joking and talking to passers-by who were always funny and encouraging. Except once, April 20th, 2016. On a night off from rehearsing a play, he ran through a nondescript neighborhood. A voice from a house screamed, "White motherfucker!" at him too many times to count. The dog walker joked and said, "Hey now, I'm just an old man jogging," and turned the corner. 3 men stormed out. One, a 70-ish black man in a straw pork pie hat. One, a stylish 30-ish man. And the original screamer, a mentally challenged, chunky boy of about 20. He went after the dog walker and started beating him. The dog walker said to the 30-ish man, "Hey, tell your brother to leave me alone, okay?" The 30-ish man flashed a pistol at the dog walker and said, "We're going to talk." Then the dog walker said, "Okay." The older man chanted, "We don't want white motherfuckers in our neighborhood." The dog walker was tempted, but would be dead today if he'd spoken the obvious. Real estate in this neighborhood was blowing up. Soon there would be only white motherfuckers living there. So badly, the dog walker wanted the old man to know they were politically on the same side, but he would have been shot before he could verbalize his far left-wing belief that gentrification that takes homes away from people of color who lived there for centuries and gave them for tons of money to white people was evil and racist. Something important needs to be said here. In over 40 years on the road as a comic, the dog walker had faced people threatening to kill him a total of 4 times, once with a .22 rifle pressed against his chest. Something happened each time. It reassured and troubled the dog walker simultaneously each event. A version of himself always appeared. It was his best self. He called this best self version Zen Man. The dog walker always wished he could be Zen Man all the time. Because Zen Man was something deeper than calm and more sharp than aware. Fear left him at these times. All feelings went away. Life suddenly was a math equation, the problem to solve being, given data X, condition V, and possible outcome Y, how can you solve the equation such that outcome C, though less likely to occur than outcome Y, does indeed occur and you end up being alive? He'd always gotten outcome C, but tonight outcome Y would most likely. Having been asked if he wanted to die, the dog walker stood, feet firmly planted, because the mentally challenged younger man was ramming his collarbones with fists and headbutts and full body blocks trying to knock him down. The dog walker knew that down on the ground, they'd kill him. The police detective agreed. Dog walker knew because he grew up in a violent neighborhood. He knew that once you let yourself be knocked down, you were no longer someone whose death mattered. You were a pussy, a weakling. It's a rule in every violent neighborhood, regardless of age, race, or color, anywhere. Stay standing, even during a beating. And if so, maybe you're worth something. Dog walker stood the beating, feet planted like redwood roots. The time was passing and the stalemate was hinting at a turn. Then out of nowhere, cruelty, the 30-something man slammed his knife hard against the dog walker's ear. There was a cascade of raw blood pouring down from the wound. Fast, dramatic, puddling blood. On the side of his head, he had a brand new organ. It was no longer an ear anymore. It was an eargina, and it was having the menses of a lifetime. Fast, dramatic, puddling blood. The dog walker's focus became a dialogue of Plato in his mind. I am bleeding severely. Yes, you are. I must leave. You'll have to turn your back on him, and he has a gun, or he could just plunge the blade in. If I say that will definitely happen, even though 8 people are standing on their porches recording this on their smartphones, but not calling the cops. So you really plan to leave? There is no choice. I must leave. He has every chance to kill me, but I am waterfalling blood and he is not leaving. How do you do this and remain alive? I do not know if I do remain alive. I just have to go. I have to walk away very slowly so I don't inspire him to shoot the cowardly running man. He has to believe I have dignity. I will walk slow and keep my hand from my ear. The dog walker looked the 30-something in the eye. I am leaving now. You're motherfucking what? Dog walker looked the 30-something in the face and finished the sentence. He said, I'm late. The 30-something seemed surprised the dog walker would make a joke while exsanguinating, a word he most assuredly didn't know. I am leaving now. You said you could motherfucking leave. I am taking 2 steps back with my hands up now. Dog walker did just that. 30-something again seemed a little off rhythm. What are you gonna do when you get home? Dog walker said, I shall call the police. 30-something got a touch of swagger back. You do, and I'll murder you. His next sentence will always puzzle the dog walker. Again, Zen Man spoke. He said, we all must do the things that we believe we must do at the time we believe we must do them. It was complete bullshit, but it stunned the man with the knife long enough to let him start to walk away. At this, the dog walker made an economical military turn and headed 90 degrees away from the boy of questionable intellectual provenance and the pork pie septuagenarian and the 30-something with the knife. Walking north on the ironically named Normal Avenue, he waited, especially during the first 10 sidewalk blocks, to hear the pop, pop, pop of a gun. He wondered what death would feel like, especially from holes ripped through your back. Would it hurt? Would he hear the shots? Or would it merely seem like falling forward into an endless black mattress filled with the softest of down feathers? He walked with a slow dignity, trying to mimic how a Catholic boy walks back to the pew after receiving communion. He did not count steps, but he knew he'd walked about 20 driveways. He decided looking back would not be an untenable risk. The trio of hate had walked back to their homes. The neighborhood, or shall it be said the Kitty Genovese fan club, had re-entered their homes, most likely to turn on their video games and seek better violence. Then something both magical and moronic happened. Cars continually slowed down, and at least 15 drivers yelled out to the dog walker, "Hey, buddy, you're bleeding." Then they'd drive off. One was his next-door neighbor. She said, "You're bleeding." The dog walker hoped for a lift home the last half mile, but the idiot neighbor said, "I'll tell your wife you've been stabbed and are walking home." And she drove off. The dog walker ran home, knowing his wife would be hysterical, not wanting her to suffer his wound. He wasn't sure which of the last streets to take, but something electric in the air made him turn on College Street, where she stood, ready for driving him to get 40 stitches in his ear, which was essentially cloven in half. At the ER, sitting, coated literally in blood, the dog walker answered the questions of the lady at the keyboard, all of which could be summed in the phrase, "Do you have insurance? And is it decent? Because there's no use wasting a good doctor on someone who's going to stiff us on the bill." The form finally filled. The lady at the keyboard looked at the sticky crimson form of the dog walker and asked, "Well, what seems to be the matter?"
Nice.
And this last piece I wrote a year ago, the last time I got to do a stand-up comedy road trip, actually on the road, on October 4th, which the Bills played a playoff game that night and lost. But they're better this year. Route 8 through Akron. The planet Earth has an edge, believe me, I know. See the pictures that it is round as a cue ball, even more so as astronomy teaches us. But you can fall off, I know, because a few years ago I did. It was razor sharp and the tumbling away couldn't be stopped. I'm still not back on solid ground yet. A sphere covered in water allows you endlessly to slip. On the highway yesterday, I thought about him, my 36-year friend who himself fell off 7 years ago. All the unanswered calls or the phone picked up and gladly, gently recradled ever since. We'd found him, bedbug covered in a windowless by aluminum foil apartment. The doctors said taking him east with us to live was the cure. The cure has become doubt or worse. You know what? 11 out of 24 hours should not be where a man finds himself alone in the car. Since I too found that ledge, my hand grabs desperately, but even some family and friends don't reach back, though most still do. It is all that water and the spinning globe flying 1,000 miles an hour. It can be understood. Some just don't see the risk as worthwhile, so often the reaching seems so to me. Then I picture my beautiful love. She waits at home for me, stretches her fingers so hard every day. No one is promised sanity or bad luck or good luck, but there at least There's interesting science to it all, the physics behind the fear of madness. Can the ball have a place where circumference ends? Dear friend of 36 years and 7 years without talking, are you alive? Honey, I'll keep reaching as long as you do. Hug the dog for me. The earth is a pale blue circle of beauty, and life itself lives there. I'm reaching. So far, the water slips most days through my fingers.
Nice, Tim. Really nice. Thank you so much for sharing all. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful to have Tim with us. Those of you who follow us regularly know that Tim's on all the time. So, and we love having him and sharing his beautiful work with us, and just his comedy and poetry is just unbelievable. So thank you so much. I did see while Tim was performing, thank you to everyone who's been donating, watching the donations come in. So thank you very much. For those just joining us, I see we have a new group joining us on Facebook and some folks that joined us on Zoom. Welcome, welcome. I see Barb in the Zoom. I see Rob in the Zoom. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And for those watching on Facebook, thanks so much. We have a couple more artists. But just a reminder, if you'd like to donate tonight and support all of our artists tonight, you can donate at Venmo. Our Venmo is at TalkHard. And our PayPal link is in the Facebook chat if you're not a Venmo person. So thank you very much for your support, for keeping Talk Hard going. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to move a little downstate from where Tim was in Buffalo, down to Colony, New York, which is in the Albany-Schenectady region, for someone who hopefully all of our Talk Hard family is coming to know and love as much as we do. She's become a Talk Hard regular, writer, poet, the sister that I'm now saying just is my sister. It's like I'm dropping that I never had, because she's like just my sister now. So, because now I have her, right? So it's like, who cares? So, yeah. So, welcome everyone. The amazing Kylie Gorski. Hey, Kylie.
Hi, how's it going?
Awesome. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back.
Of course, you know,
Sweet.
that's the whole idea.
Nice.
So I'm bringing you chapter 3 of my work in progress novel.
Cool.
And just do a quick review of the last chapter. We kind of flash back to let's see, it'd be 1997, and we kind of met the mother of our protagonist, Natalie, and the rest of her family, and we kind of saw the introduction of the animal that gives the book its name, Compromise the Cat. So,
Love it.
so this is chapter 3 of the Life and Times of Compromise the Cat. It's called The French Hen's Flower Shop. With the modern world teetering on the bloody threshold that separated the 18th and 19th centuries, the New York State Legislature passed one of its most pathetic and anemic of compromises. Though not so named a compromise as its predecessors, the Three-Fifths or the Missouri, the Act for the Gradual Abolition of Slavery bore the same bitterness and was equally fraudulent in name. An ice-cold counterfeit that left enslaved blacks of the state no less enslaved than before its passage, and indentured their sons and daughters as slaves for the 3 decades following. But the ancestors of the brutal Dutch, so desperately trapped inside their own purses, which held not only tender but hatred, and who were so unwilling to forfeit their customary laziness, would not be moved from cruelty or amorality, and instead had to be lured begrudgingly from it with a rotten carrot. 11 years following the Act's passage, 2 young girls could be found lying upon a lea on the edge of an upstate town called Ishkot, tuckered away from the precarious realities surrounding them, and yet both intrinsically aware, at the ages of just 6 and 5, that freedom is something that can only be lost, gained, transported, endowed, or purchased wholly for it could not be divided into parts or pieces, and it certainly could not be found by way of compromise. The girls, Noelle and Char, who held hands above the lush grass and counted the spots on the grazing dairy cows, could not know, of course, that one day the daughters of their daughters' daughters would be co-owners of the French Hen's flower shop in the center of that very same town. Adelaide Morehart and Katie Acadia had opened Ishkot's first and only florist with their friend Eddie, short for Edith. In the 9 years since the store's opening, it had seen unprecedented success because, as Addie put it, someone is always getting married, and if not married, getting dead, and if not dying, ill in bed. Flowers are for every occasion. You should make that your slogan, Luke said as he chewed his breakfast. Go to school, please. Addie shooed him out of the glass storefront before setting Natalie down on the counter next to a bucket of roses that Katie was busy dethorning. Natalie's cat jumped up next to her, rested her chin on the toddler's lap, and began to purr. No, Katie complained. He's gonna have to be at a shop cat at least until Natalie starts kindergarten. I can't pry the two apart. Katie stared above glasses at the mongrel and sighed. Aunt Katia, Natalie cooed before standing up on the counter and kissing her cheek. She side-eyed the little girl before sighing again, loudly. Then she nodded, and nodded again. She groaned, and nodded again. She nodded. Another nod. Pursed her lips. She nodded. No. Addie let out the breath she was holding. Well, that was misleading. Katie closed her eyes and rolled her neck. At least not on the counter. People are allergic to cats. People are allergic to flowers. Addie scooped up the cat and placed it on the ground and caught Natalie before she could climb off the counter by herself to join her companion. What's its name? Natalie tugged lightly on the cat's tail and said, meow meow. Meow meow it is then. Katie, she calls all cats meow meow, and you know that. It's a peculiar creature. Katie came around the counter, and the cat sat on its butt, perfectly still and perfectly silent, and stared up at her. Split right down the middle. And the cat truly was. The short fur of her nose met at a central line so straight and evenly divided it could have itself alone proved Da Vinci's golden ratio. On one side, she was blonde with faint red stripes. On the other, pitch black, down to the tip of her tail. Her right eye was blue to complement the blonde, her left, yellow. Even the skin of her lip was part pink, part black, and the pads of her feet, likewise, pink and black. Like God's little compromise, said Addie. No, she could start a war just walking down the street. She's like the fable of the two-colored coat. I'm not familiar. One side green, Katie opened her right palm. One side gold, she opened her left. She made her fingers march. A trickster walks down the main street of town. She opened her right palm again. When he leaves, those standing on his right insist his coat was green. And those on his left, she pointed, insist that it's gold, Addie finished. Exactly. They fight a bloody battle over it, even though they were both right the entire time. But they weren't, Addie thought aloud. They were both wrong. The coat was neither all green nor all gold. Addie knelt down and looked at the little compromise in the eye. What say you, my little beauty? Are you a compromise or a trickster? Compromise has a lot of nickname potential, I think. And I do love a nickname. She bit her lip. Compromise it is. He rejoiced and continued to do so in the weeks that followed, because getting her children to yell the word compromise around the house was something she considered a triumph.
Oh man, Kylie.
Yeah, so short chapter tonight. Maybe I'll bring you two or something next week.
That's
But
cool.
short this week.
It's so good, Kylie. It's so good.
I like the cat.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, I don't know if you saw, but Compromise made an appearance while you were
I heard
reading.
her behind me, and I held my breath and hoped that nothing destructive was going on.
Nah, there was some exploring of a bag and nothing. Yeah.
That's fine. As long as she's not scratching the couch that we bought, that's fine.
That's cool.
But she's actually, it's funny, she's kind of pied too. She's got like, I call it like she's wearing a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Oh, sweet.
Like that's what her face looks like.
Yeah.
But this particular cat is based on my childhood cat, who actually, like, her nose
Was
down
half
the
and
middle
half.
was like half and half. Yeah.
That's crazy.
She had pink paws on one side and black paws on the other. So.
That's crazy. It's really good though, Kylie. It's like I just see everything so clearly. Like really nice, really nice. Sweet. So thanks, and for those following the story of Compromise the Cat, we will get another chapter or two next week. So Kylie's coming in every week to get us through the whole book, which is super cool. Thanks, Kylie. So thanks also for those. I saw some donations coming in. Thanks so much, everyone. Those of you on Facebook, we see you, even though we can't actually see you. I see those numbers, so I know you're there. So thank you for supporting and for watching. And I'm really psyched to finish the show tonight with a really special artist who we haven't seen for a while, but is an OG Talk Hard veteran from back in the early days of the pandemic, coming in from Chicago. Let me having some navigation issues with the Zoom screen. Hold on, we're getting there. It's coming. We're getting closer. Who's it gonna be? Oh man, it's gonna be Brian Hayes, man. Welcome back. It's so good to see you. We missed you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Just been working at a medical marijuana dispensary out here.
Oh wow.
I've been doing now. Shot my first commercial yesterday. So
Woo!
I was really excited. So,
Nice.
Evergirls commercial will be on YouTube at some point.
Oh sweet.
Yeah, man. Just trying to stay afloat.
Cool. You still?
I'm a user. Can you get me a deal?
Well, I don't know.
Are you still in? Are you still in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm still out here in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm still in my new place. And,
Cool.
Yeah, we're still rocking.
How's the dog?
Oh, she's doing cool. She's actually hanging out around me right now. She's,
Nice.
Under the table.
Nice.
I'm sitting at my dinner table in the kitchen. So
Cool. Cool, man. No, Rachel and I had been talking about you lately, and just were like, man, I hope Brian's doing all right, and missing you on Talk Hard. So when we came back, we were
I'm bald again. So
nice.
there's that too. So.
Me too. So
Yeah.
mine's more of a still, not an again. Cool, man.
Cool.
So what you got tonight?
Yeah, it's for a little piece today. So.
Nice.
Let's listen to it.
Sweet.
If I had a maroon suit, you would not know me. You talk about equality. The actions you put into place are shoddy, to say the least. Treated like a lease, waiting for that expiration. Treated my man weird when he wore tan to a meeting with leaders of his nation. Y'all whack for that. Then you want to try to slip those hands in a black man's back pocket when he comes back wearing black. That seems to track. But I have no need for handshakes. I require you to show me your worth in how well you bake freedom pies, you snow peas. Don't act like you know me. Bringing me back to my maroon suit and how you wish you still did know me. Wondering if you dream about the cause in your sleep, or if you've wandered from the pasture again with fleece white hair like sheep's. Ideals made by y'all rarely make change, so quit bleeding. Hearts constantly on blast and they bleeding 25/8. I want to live in a country that makes me sing, how great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. My God, look how far we have come. Had an era of L'Orange, but those dark days are done. But we ain't completely won yet. We still got half a country out here acting like Confederates, not for the hell of it. And don't say, oh, let them be the hell with it, because if y'all keep on screwing up, you'll keep building up those piles of regrets. You have yet to set an action into motion so our nation can reset. If things do not change, I'm gonna need y'all to get to stepping to the left, saying that you will, but you don't, that's just theft. Racism is a whole whale of a problem. The worth of of a human life is an immeasurable amount of krill. Won't sit still and wait to kill. Wait to be killed. No more hands where you can see them. I swear I don't carry steel, but it's my hope that I can steal your thoughts. Would you give me a moment, Will? I need strength to create a lengthening in my spine so the crown of my head can open up to the divine, to view me as you would view your ally and look me in my eyes. We turn our gaze towards change, but we don't leave the past with the tides. We move forward from it. And that is why if I had a maroon suit, you would not know me.
Wow, man. Really nice. You wrote that, Rachel said you wrote that today?
Yeah.
Shit, man. Oh, my break.
Oh my god.
Come on, man. Wow. Beautiful. Like,
Slam on it.
wow. So good. So good. Thanks, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
That was really great.
Beautiful.
Yeah. We, I mean it when I say we missed you. You're welcome here anytime. And like anytime you got something new or something old you want to share, we really feel just like so honored to be able to like listen to what you have to say, and just I always feel better after you're on.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate hearing that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so good. So good. Yeah, so thanks everyone. Thanks to all of our artists for being here. Thanks to our audience here and on Facebook. I see everyone still watching on Facebook, so thanks so much. I saw some donations coming in, so thank you again, everyone. If you would like to donate at the end here, our Venmo is at TalkCard and our PayPal link is in the comments. Thank you I know I see you keeping track. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate it. We do this every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Love will win in the end. It's tough right now, but hopefully we're moving in the right direction. A lot of work to still do. Stay safe. Stay well. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Michael.
Take care.
Guys, guys, guys.
All right, we'll see you soon.